What's going on, everybody? It's Connor from T-sportline. Today we're going to be installing an electric rear view mirror in our Tesla Cybertruck. This mirror is great for being able to see behind you. As we all know, the factory Cybertruck mirror is really small and really inconvenient. Can't see behind you even with the tonneau closed. This mirror will fix all of that. Has a rear camera as well as a front-facing dash cam. Allows us to capture all of those angles that we need to see on the road. Let's get into the install. Parts included in this kit are going to be your electric rear view mirror, your rear view camera, your front-facing dash cam, and your mirror mount. Additionally, your camera Y cable, a power Y cable, a power converter harness, and a rear camera extension harness will be included with the kit. Moving over for your tools, you're going to need a T15 T-handle or Torx bit. Additionally, a couple of trim tools are useful. I find that the metal style one like this is going to work best for the carpet style clips we're going to be removing. A T30 bit and socket. Additionally, some zip ties and some cutters will be useful. I've got a wire hanger here. I've already folded this back out flat. You'll need something about this size to fish our cables through our headliner. Additionally, some tape, gonna be useful pairing with our hanger here. And finally, some adhesive cable clips or anchors similar to these will be pretty useful. Let's get into the install. First thing we're going to do is hop up in the truck bed and remove this top plastic piece at the rear of the roof glass. Now this piece is held in by two T30 screws on either side, and we're going to remove both of those and then pop this panel straight up and then back out of the way. Do the same on the other side. And we're just going to take and pull straight up just like that. You'll hear the pop. Make sure we get that on both sides. And then we are going to wiggle and pull back on both sides until our panel comes off like this. Now we are just going to set this back down in place loosely, just about like that. And we want to come up to our roof here. And you can see we have a little Tesla logo on the glass here. That's going to be the center line of our glass. And if we trace a straight line down, you'll see that's where our middle point for our camera should be mounted. Now we're ready to grab our rear view camera and get that installed. I've gone ahead and got our rear view camera here, and we've removed the adhesive backing on the bottom of the camera. Now we're just going to square this thing up nice and center with that mark we just made off of the roof, and then get it nice and flush on this leading edge right here. And then we're just going to press down nice and firm for about 5 seconds, trying to make sure we get a nice, good contact. And then our rear camera is all good, and we'll tuck our tail of wire back down here as our harness for this camera is going to run along our rear glass. Next thing we're going to want to do is hop up in the car and remove this factory mirror. First step in doing that is removing this rear cover plate here. You just take your trim tool and pop that on out of the way. Next, we're going to take our T15 and remove the one T15 bolt up in our mirror. And we'll remove this all the way. You will notice that the bolt we just removed from the mirror doesn't come out all the way. You will have to put a little bit of pressure on it with your finger and continue to unscrew to get this bolt fully out of the mirror mount. We will be reusing this mirror bolt with our electric mirror. Now that we have our factory mirror completely removed, we can go ahead and peel these two plastic pieces down to allow access for our powered mirror wires. So for starters, we're going to pull our sun visors out and bring them down just a little bit, enough to fold them all the way up out of our way. Give us plenty of working room. Next, we're going to grab right here where the mirror's magnets are. We're going to grab here and pull straight down just like that. You'll see our hazard button just hangs here. And then the final step is going to be grabbing the front edge of this triangle plastic and pulling straight down to reveal all of the central electronics. So with all of our trim panels dangling like this, we're going to grab our powered mirror and our mirror bracket here, and we're going to go ahead and fish our wires through the ball end. We'll take a little bit of pressure to force them through, and then we can pop our ball into the socket just like that. So you'll notice that the mirror has a power button and a micro SD card. These are on the bottom face of the mirror. So you are going to want your bracket to curve up the opposite direction. So with our wires routed through our ball joint mount, we can then fish them through our triangle trim piece. And then we are going to want to take our thinner cable and run it up the driver's side of this triangle piece, and our thicker cable up the passenger side, tucking it behind the harness currently there. Then we are going to take our triangle piece and push it back up into place. You'll hear it snap in just like that. So with our mount set up in place like this, we can tighten down our T15 just like that. Then we can take our cover plate and slot that up into place. I recommend removing any floor mats, any floor protectors you got. We're gonna need these out of the way. Next, we need to peel back this kick panel carpet here. You can just reach up in there and should be able to just pull it down just like that. I have a couple trim clips there, and we're just going to peel this back and let it kind of rest here on our center area. Next, we're going to grab this plastic trim piece off the passenger side footwell and do the same thing. We're just going to remove that and set this off to the side for right now. So next we need to remove some trim panels. We've got this big long one here and then a smaller one up top. You can take your trim tool, just pop it in, work our way around. There'll be four clips on this piece, just like that. Set that to the side. And then next, we've got this one here, which will just kind of peel and roll back out of the way, just like so. Now with all of that out of the way, we've got a couple carpet clips we need to remove. You're gonna have 3 clips up the side right here. You're just going to take and pop those out. They may be a little bit stiffer than what I'm working with here. With those carpet clips out, we can remove this pop clip right here, revealed by peeling our carpet back just a little bit. There we go. And with that removed, we can go ahead and peel back our carpet. I'm gonna grab our top edge here, and you'll feel a little bit of plastic behind that. You're gonna wanna pull that as well. You'll see that there's also a piece of dense foam here. We're gonna wanna peel this back up out of the way as well. And this will just roll straight back as so. And that's all we need to do. To access our electrical connector, the blue one at the end here, and this little white one on our A-pillar are going to be the 2 connectors we're looking for. So for this next part, I recommend powering down the car. You're gonna want to come to your infotainment menu and click the safety menu. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, you'll see where it says power off. You'll click that and then click power off. You'll notice the screen goes dark. So I'm gonna grab our power Y cable and take the smaller connector, and we're going to unplug this one on the A-pillar, plug our connector in, and then reconnect the 2 just like that. And we'll do the same for our blue connector down here. Unplug it, plug it into our new harness, and then plug that white connector back in to the blue housing, just like that. Next, we're gonna take our power converter harness, and we're gonna grab the end with the red, yellow, and black wire and plug that in to the corresponding red, yellow, and black wire coming out of the Y cable we just installed. So next, I'm gonna take this other end and go ahead and plug it up to the red end of the Y cable that I've plugged into the mirror. You're going to take the big end and plug into the USB-C connector coming out of the mirror. And you'll notice the mirror just powered up as it's received power, but we don't have any feed as we have yet to hook up any of our cameras. So now we can go ahead and route our wiring harness out of the way. With routing our wires, I prefer to start from the mirror. So we're going to go down the headliner, down the A-pillar, behind the dash, and we'll tuck all of our excess underneath the foam in the floor well. So for starting to route our wires, I'm going to take the two tails coming out of our mirror and tuck them either side of the square holes under that center trim panel. We're gonna wanna run those down either side all the way back to the headliner. And then I'm just going to tuck our small cable up under the driver's side for right now, leaving a little bit of a tail hanging out so we can see it. And then we will do the same with our large cable on the passenger side. Now we can just pull down on our headliner a little bit. It is only held in with magnets, so not a big deal to pull that down. You hear it snap back into place just like that. And we can go ahead and route the rest of our power harness. Just follow the A-pillar down until we reach the dash. You may find that a plastic trim tool can be handy for getting your wire length tucked up behind your trim panels. So you can see we've got our cable run halfway down the A-pillar. You'll see that there is a panel gap right here between the two pieces. We're going to tuck our cable down this and then down the quarter window. Just like that, we've got it down that panel, and we can continue to tuck this behind our A-pillar trim. Tuck it right down the edge like that. And we'll just tuck our cable length down the side of the dash right here, just giving a little bit of persuasion, a little bit of push until we see it come out underneath. We can take our length here and just run it alongside to the bottom, grab one of our zip ties, and we'll go ahead and zip tie in a couple places, try and keep our slack to a minimum, clip our tails, just like that. And then we can grab the remaining excess from our harness and we'll coil this on up and zip tie it all together and out of the way so we can lay our carpet back down. And we'll just zip tie that up out of the way. Next, we're gonna take our carpet with our foam, work this back in to our footwell. We're gonna grab our pop clips and get those back into place, just like that. And our carpet clips the same. Okay, next we can grab our floor trim and get this positioned back into place. Get that snap back into place. And then we can take our kick panel and get that popped up back into place. Grab our door trim, get that started. And we're gonna wanna take a trim tool, just run it down the edge of the rubber seal, get that back over our trim panel. We can grab our side panel and get that slotted back into place. Replace our floor mat, and we are done with the passenger side. With all that buttoned up, we're finished in the passenger footwell, and we can move back over to the driver's side to route our rear camera extension harness. So we're going to take our hanger and fish it through this hole until we see it come out the other side. Pull it out just like that. We just want to have a little bit sitting on either side of our panel here. And then we're going to tape our extension harness to the rear end of the hanger. Here we go. We're just gonna take and feed our hanger the rest of the way through. You may feel it get a little snug towards the middle here. A little bit of pressure relief from a trim tool. It's just what we need, just like that. Drop the rest of our excess down there and run that up and out. So what we just did is we took some duct tape and taped up the end of our extension harness to our hanger here, and then pushed it up into this gap right here with our connector pushed up on the rubber right here, and then we pushed up and back and then rolled it back towards the outside as we pulled through. So I've grabbed our roof trim, and we're gonna go ahead and get this set back in place. We're not gonna snap it fully in, and we'll get that plugged in. Now, earlier I mentioned that some cable anchors would be useful. I've gone ahead and put 3 of them across the top, back of our glass here, and I'm just gonna take and get these guys started on these. I'm just gonna take and put my cable all the way through there, and take this excess that I have and just pull it through so we have just a little bit of a tail hanging out there. We'll get it snapped back into place just like that, and then we can clip our adhesive clamps shut so that our cable is pulled up out of the way of our tonneau cover. Next, we can take our T30s and get those back installed on our roof trim here. And with that, we've got our rear camera finished up. We can move back to the inside of the car. Next step for routing our rear extension harness is going to be pulling our door seals down. We only need to remove the top half, about like that. We'll do that on both the passenger door and the driver door, just like that. We're gonna take our tail end and fish it through our B-pillar. And we may find it easier to use our coat hanger again for this process. We're gonna do the exact same thing, tape the tail end of our wiring harness to our hanger, and then fish that on through, just like so. We can go ahead and replace our rear seal once we tuck our wiring up underneath this stretch of trim seal. Get that nice up and under, all the way around, and we're all buttoned up there. Moving forward, we got our cable here, and we need to get this on the other side of the headliner. Now, we do have an airbag here that we need to be mindful of, so you'll have to fish the cable over top of the airbag so as to not hinder it from deploying if it needs to. So once again, our hanger is going to be the magic tool for the day. I went right where the gap is between the 2 trim panels. We're gonna go up over top of the airbag, and that'll bring you out right towards the back of the headliner. And we're just going to, once again, nice piece of tape, just like so, and feed our cable length through. And now I'm gonna feed all the rest of my cable length all the way through. We're gonna tuck all of our excess up under our headliner once we have all this run. So we're gonna come towards the front of the headliner. And once again, the headliner is, in fact, on magnets, making it quite easy to peel down and get your wire started. Trim tool is always useful for getting wires in their respective gaps. Now we're gonna grab the tail end and go ahead and plug it into that little tail we left hanging out earlier. And with that, we can tuck all of our excess extension harness up under our headliner. Just like so. Finish up our driver's side by reinstalling our door seal. I went ahead and removed the whole thing, but you should just have to put the top half back up. And with that, we have one last step, hooking up our front-facing dash cam. Let's head on over to the passenger side and we'll get it all plugged in. So I've got our front-facing dash cam here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in to the USB cable that is hanging out beside our mirror. We've come to find that to the right side of the triangle trim tends to be the best place for us to put our dash cam. So we're gonna take that and peel our adhesive backing off and get that up into place like so. And then I have one more little adhesive cable clip I'm just gonna put on the side of this triangle piece here just to hold that wire nice and tight. And with that, that's gonna wrap up our install. So here we have our camera all set up and ready to go. You can see we've got, looking out the back there, if we click this button, we can look out our dash cam up front, and then we also have the split screen so we can get both images at the same time. Access media as well as lock the view. That's gonna wrap it up for our install today. If you like what you see, do leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave those in the comments section down below. Don't forget to check us out at tsportline.com.